Good morning and welcome to your Daily Sparks. The prophet Habakkuk carries a straightforward conversation with God about injustice. The nation of Judah had gone way off track and Habakkuk knows it. And he says to God, why do you make me look at injustice? Why do you tolerate wrong? And he starts complaining to God in chapter 1 verse 3. When God answers that justice for Judah will come soon enough, he tells him that it will come at the hands of its unrighteous neighbour, the Babylonians. These were nasty people. And Habakkuk says, why are you silent then while the wicked swallow up those more righteous than themselves? How can you judge us with those guys? They're worse than we are. The pinnacle of Habakkuk's prayer comes after a lengthy discussion of God's sovereign power. Habakkuk exalts his Lord and Saviour, and he says that no matter what happens, the prophet will simply rejoice in God. He won't simply grin and bear it, he'll rejoice, even though and even through and even despite the circumstances that he faces. And I think Habakkuk, it's a good word to us today. He calls us to this heaven-centered perspective, where no matter what happens around us, we can choose to rejoice in him instead of complaining. So often, what do we do when we feel when we see around us injustice? We turn and we complain to God. That's not fair. What do we do when the wicked seem to prosper and the righteous seem to not prosper? We say, God, that's not fair. But I think we should join with Habakkuk in saying, though the fig tree does not blossom and there be no fruit on the vine, though the olive crop fails and the land produces no food, though the cattle not be in the stalls and the sheep not be in the pens, yet will I rejoice in the Lord. Whatever you face today, rejoice, because that's the way to see victory in your life. We'll see you tomorrow on Sparks.